Hello everybody and welcome to episode 10 of Riverton Bay. In today's episode we are going to work on the Union Station, the train station for this city. So you might have a couple questions, and that is, didn't you already build a train station? And that is correct. I did build a train station in the city. It's a sunken one, which you can't really see a lot of it. It's mostly underground, but it has some open spaces. Anyway, I built that a couple episodes ago. It was actually quite a few months ago at this point. But yeah, I built that, and ever since I finished that episode, I haven't really felt too satisfied with that build and the whole train station there. I don't know. I felt like that area I just wasn't happy with, and it has kind of bothered me for quite a while, and that I just really didn't feel satisfied with that build. And yeah, I've been thinking a lot about the train station and yeah, sort of the train system for this map, I guess you could say. And I came to the conclusion that I should redo the train station and yeah, completely get rid of the last one and just build a new one, a new and better one. And yeah, that's what I'm doing in this episode. So yeah, and also I said in the last one, which was the airport episode, I said that I probably in this episode will you know, finish up the airport and detail it and that kind of stuff. And I actually started doing that. I detailed the whole area around the runway, and it turned out nice, and I put down an ATC tower and all that kind of stuff. And then I just, I don't know, I got bored of detailing the airports, and I just really wanted to work on a new train station. I just felt really inspired to do that, and I felt like, sort of, what's the point of like detailing around the airports if I really want to work on something else for this episode? You know, I don't think it's a problem just postponing the detailing of the airports for a bit, perhaps the next episode, I guess. But I'm not gonna make any promises again. But yeah, we will definitely get to the episode where we finish up the airports. That is for sure. But yeah, I felt inspired to work on a train station again. And yeah, so that's kind of where we are at this point and why this episode is here. But yeah, I guess I can talk a little bit about what I'm doing different with this train station from the last one. So mainly I want to be able to see the trains on the map. I want to be able to just look at the trains and you know, get cool cinematics, get, you know, cool shots, having trains actually move around on the map and not just underground where you don't see them. And that was sort of the problem with the last train station. First of all, it's underground, of course, but yeah, there was just this little parts of the train tracks that were sort of on ground, that were visible, and then the plan was to just bring them into the mountain, the same as I do with the highways, and just, you know, make them disappear under the water and connect them to outside connections. And yeah, it just didn't really feel right to do it that way, and it kind of felt really boring to me to do it that way, because I want to use some really cool train assets that I haven't used before. Some really cool American train assets, and yeah, I just didn't really think it was fun, you know, having the trains just pop out of a tunnel, be outside for a bit, and then just go straight underground again. So yeah, that's the main reason why I didn't want, or why I wanted to do a new train station. So this one is on ground, and you can see the whole train station. And yeah, I think it's much nicer, and I think it's much more interesting. And this train station has 6 tracks, which I think is fine, because yeah, I simply couldn't really fit any more tracks. Otherwise, I probably would have put more tracks. But 6 tracks was sort of the max amount I could fit into this area that I wanted it in. That's a hard sentence to say. But yeah, so 6 tracks it is, and I think it works just fine. And this is also a very custom train station. I'm not just plopping down a train station assets and, you know, calling it there. There's a lot of, you know, separate buildings and a lot of modular things, I guess, to make this train station come alive. So first off, I'm using these train station buildings that I think are called Kobe train station buildings, something like that, that I found on the workshop. They look pretty cool. They were nice because they had some text on them in the screenshots that said, like, I think it's Kobe or something like that, Kobe train station, something like that, and I really didn't want that, but then I downloaded the assets and I realized that it was just like the building itself, just plain building, no signs or text or anything on it, which made me very happy, because then I can just make a very generic train station. And this building works really nice, and I actually combined two of them to make the main building for the train station. I just flipped them around, so it got a little bit more wider, I guess. But yeah, I'm very happy with the main building for the train station, and the platforms are by Lijo. They're the American generic platforms, I think, something like that they're called. And yeah, I'm using them because I wanted to just have a lot of flexibility to work with the platforms. And yeah, they're one-way tracks, each platform, which is actually pretty nice. I kind of like that because then you can like really customize your whole train network and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. So yeah, these platforms are nice, and they look very American, I think. What else is there? I'm making a bit of a rail yard. Well, not right now, but I did. So I'm making a bit of a rail yard, placing down a couple tracks there. And I won't get to really putting down any trains on that rail yard in this episode, but we're definitely going to get there. Mostly going to be passenger trains just parked there and stuff. But I think that's going to be cool. And yeah, this whole area here along the freeway is where I will just have a lot of train related stuff, and I guess industry. That's probably how it's gonna end up. And yeah, I think this is a pretty good spot for all of this overall. I think it's a nice transition from the like very urban parts, like the downtown and like all the skyscrapers and high-rise buildings and stuff, to the more low-rise suburbs and stuff. And yeah, I think it just works very nice with transitioning the city from those areas to some you know, suburbs using the train tracks and the highway. I think it just works pretty nice. And yeah, so putting down this West Market, I think it's called, building here, which I put down because I wanted it to seem like that's where you enter down into those tunnels underneath the tracks, where you decide which platform you want to go up to. Because yeah, I had to do a lot of like you know, playing around with putting down the actual train stations themselves, to get the trains stopped exactly where I wanted them to stop, so you don't have like half of the train outside of the platforms, because that just doesn't really look very realistic. So yeah, I had to play around a lot with that, which ended up it actually ended up not having those stairs down to that tunnel underneath. They didn't end up being like in front of the main building. So they went a bit further down, as you saw, and then I had to put down some sort of building there to just make it seem a little bit more realistic. It's just those very small things that I think about, because I am a nerd. Okay, anyway, I'm doing a new connection here with the highway, and I had to get rid of the old one because it was on ground, and obviously that doesn't work. We can't have the cars just driving through the platforms. But I'm really happy how this new solution turned out with this road going here. and connecting down to these other roads from the highway. I just really like how it looks. I think it looks really cool having cars drive there, and it's a very nice spot to bring in traffic to the city. I think it works very well. And right now I'm actually starting to work on the Greyhound area, where all of our buses are gonna go. And yeah, so this is pretty much the only bus terminal that I work on in this episode. I'm planning to have another bus terminal for, you know, city buses, I guess you could say, which will be a little bit more in front of the main building, probably on the other side of the roads, or of the main road that goes alongside the train station. So I'm planning to have a more of a city bus station there, but this one is for Greyhound buses. So these buses probably like travel to other cities and stuff, I guess. For this Greyhound station, I took a lot of inspiration from the Greyhound station in LA, and yeah, I just found that one, and it seemed like a good place to take inspiration from, because I was already taking inspiration from the LA Union Station for this whole train station, even though they're very different, but you know. So then I just found the Greyhound station there in LA, and yeah, decided to take some inspiration, and I realized that they had fences around the bus station, you know, where the buses pull in and park. It's like a completely fenced off area, which I hadn't really seen before with bus stations. Definitely not here in Sweden. We certainly don't have stuff like that, where the buses are totally fenced off and you have to like go through some sort of terminal and stuff to like show your tickets and then go through some door and then you're out where the buses are. But I guess it's probably because, you know, I guess they don't want sketchy people to walk up to the buses or something. I don't know. But yeah, I would assume that's why. And also because they probably don't want any people to just jump on the buses without tickets, I guess. Which makes sense. But yeah, that's just something I realized with that Greyhound station. And yeah, I will actually add a bunch of like fences around the the bus area there, which I think definitely turns out a bit unique, I guess. Haven't really done anything like that before. Well, I have done a Greyhound station before in New Toulouse, but not with fences around. Alright, and oh, I also want to touch on this. I'm actually making ramps for disabled people to be able to go up on the platforms here, which is nice because I know that I've made some builds before in other projects, and I noticed that people complained about no ramps for disabled people in wheelchairs and that kind of stuff. And that's actually something that I thought about doing this train station, which I hope is appreciated, because yeah, as you can see, I'm putting down a ramp there. I have 2 ramps in front of the main entrance into the main building, and yeah, I think that's just a nice feature, and it definitely makes it more realistic, because that's what you see in real life in most places, you know. So hopefully that is appreciated. And yeah, also I want to talk about this bridge here, which is just super nice. Like, I think this ended up really great with these stairs going over the train tracks and letting people choose which platform they want to go down to and connect the other side, or connect yeah, the other side closer to the highway to this side where the Greyhound buses and stuff are. And yeah, it's just a nice way for people to get over the train station, and of course go down to the platforms. And yeah, these assets, or props I guess I should say, they look very nice, and actually I haven't used them before, but I really like them, and I think they added a lot because these platforms are very long. So we have those stairs in the other side, and then we have these stairs and bridges and stuff on this side. So yeah, I'm just detailing around this parking lot here and where the buses go in, and these buses are not functional. We don't have any actual Greyhound buses pulling in here, which I don't think I will have. Most likely I will do that for the city buses. When we get to that bus station, we will most certainly have some actual buses driving around, you know, letting people off and that kind of stuff. But not here. It was just going to be a little bit too complicated to get that figured out if I want them to park sort of diagonal as I put the props down. That just seems pretty hard to do. But yeah, I'm just detailing around this bus station here, putting down some fences and stuff. But wow, I've been almost talking for 17 minutes now, which is pretty long. So I guess I'm gonna spare you from my voice now for a couple minutes, let you listen to some music. This is actually a bit of a longer episode, so I think that's fine. But yeah, enjoy some music, and I'll tune back in a couple minutes, and I guess we'll sort of finish up this episode, and yeah, enjoy the music. Right, so now I'm, I guess, working on the finishing touches for the detailing around the train station itself. And I didn't want this area to be super nice. I wanted it to, you know, be a little bit more sketchy, I guess you could say. So I'm putting down a lot of, you know, trash, homeless tents and stuff around here. And you know, it adds a lot of character and detail and stuff, but you know, it's just a reflection of like real life and these kind of areas, which is, let's be honest, pretty sad that this is just a reflection of real life. But I wanted to do it, you know, to add some more, I guess, realism and detail to the whole area. And Riverton Bay is not meant to be like this really clean and like super wealthy, clean kept city. Like I kind of wanted to have this sort of big contrast, you know, like you have some big expensive houses in the hills, mansions and stuff, and you know, business districts, and yeah, then you have some pretty terrible areas like around here. And yeah, I mean that's just how it is in real life, like especially in LA, of course, but also in other American cities. And you know, that's just sort of what I'm going for, and yeah, for this city. But yeah, I'm just putting down a bunch of different crap here, just a bunch of barrels, trash. I'm lighting this thing on fire, which is definitely fun. To put some like fire assets and stuff on those barrels. It sort of really looks like GTA or something, which is interesting, I guess. But yeah, then I also put some decals around here. I didn't really feel like having just grass and stuff on these patches here. I felt like it should probably have some decals and like some props, and you know, planters for trees and stuff, you know, so it looks a little bit more manicured, I guess you could say. Because this is a train station and they're keeping it fairly clean, at least on the train station property. Not really around it, but at least on the property. But yeah, so putting down all of that, and here you can see the tunnel that I made for the train tracks going in to the terrain there, and I didn't want to include it in the time lapse because there was just a lot of trial and error, and overall just a pretty boring process to do that tunnel, but I'll try to get some good cinematic shots of the tunnel. And yeah, so those tracks are just gonna go there, and they're gonna probably pop out along the water, and then they're gonna go into some mountains again, and just connect to the outside connections. But here I'm doing something interesting, and I sort of thought a little bit about this, and I decided that I should do it, and that was to add this little cool train line that goes along the water here, and you know, alongside the mountains. I just wanted to have like this really scenic train route here along the ocean here, which I think turned out really cool. So I can't wait to see some trains actually traveling along here. It's gonna be really cool to see. And yeah, then they're basically just going into the mountain, and I didn't want to connect it up to the town we made over there. Because, yeah, I don't know, that town wasn't built to have a train station, so I'm just making the train tracks go into the mountain and into a tunnel and then go to some outside connections. But yeah, I really can't wait to have some trains going here. It's gonna look really cool, but that is gonna come in the next episode, or I don't mean literally the next one, but the episode where we, you know, finish up all the train stuff, and yeah, but there will be trains, and we will see them moving around on the map, which I'm very excited for. And just imagine getting some cool like first-person shots on this route there for the train tracks. It's gonna be really cool. Alright, so yeah, I'm sort of bringing the train tracks underneath here, and yeah, just connecting all the tracks and that kind of stuff. But yeah, this episode is coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. I really did enjoy building all of this. Okay, so if you enjoyed the episode, make sure to leave a like. And also, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next one. Have a great day, and bye-bye.